So we're talking about negative, really do? We're talking about negative and positive externalities. Remember, a externality is something that happens outside of the decision maker, right? So you make a decision, it affects somebody else. That spillover, that effect that they had nothing to do with, is the externality. If it's the cost that's passed on, that cost makes it a negative externality. Someone else is feeling the negative for you. If it's a positive, the benefit spills over. The positive spills over. So what's going on with a negative externality graph is that supply doesn't understand or doesn't care that there's a cost because it's not them paying. So what they do in real life is they behave as though that cost doesn't exist. I'm not paying, therefore the bill isn't real. Right? If they understood what the real cost was, then they would supply less. Or if they were made to care about it, like if they had to cover their own bill. You dump nuclear waste in the lake, you have to clean it up, and you have to pay the medical bills at Springfield Memorial Hospital. You are mean to your little sister, then you pay for her therapy. Whatever it is. The cost is on you, then you may supply less and you may have to charge a higher price in order to cover the cost. And what ends up happening is where supply and demand meet, the equilibrium point, is going to end up in a different spot. So if we look at quantity supply, draw a line right down the middle. Misaligned and I missed the thing, but whatever. What they're actually supplying is this number here. What they would be supplying if they paid their own bills is here. So this gap between what they're actually doing and what they would do if they paid all the costs themselves is an over-allocation. They're putting too much of their efforts towards supplying something because they're not aware of the bill or they don't care about the bill. And this gap between what they're actually doing and what they should do is the over-allocation. That's by how much they're, like, how big is the behavior change if they paid the bill. Positive externality works the same way. All right? This is what's going on in the actual marketplace because they're not perceiving the spillover benefit. If they understood what the benefit was, or if they were made to care about the benefit, then they might well demand more of that thing, right? If you get a certain amount of benefit from a product or from a service, that makes you want that thing. It makes you demand it. If other people benefiting counted towards your total, you would demand more than if you were unaware or unconcerned about benefiting those other people. So, for example, if you understood that being nice to the little sister would cause her to do well in school, then you would have the desire to do that because that counts in your total. I get an A and little sister gets an A. That's 2 A's. That's worth being nice to her this morning. If that counts towards your total, you'll demand more of that service. If I build a park, it's not just nice for me to walk through, it's nice for the guy who's not going to become angry and stab me after work. Therefore, I benefit 2 ways because benefiting him counts for my total. And you'll demand more. The benefit is spilling over. If you understood, the demand would shift higher, and that gap, just like with the negative externality, between what you would do if you understood and cared about that gap and what you're actually doing is how much the under-allocation is. You're behaving as though there is no benefit. If you accounted for everything, then you would demand more by this much quantity. So that's what that is.